Hey, welcome and welcome back. Love During Lockup or After. Love During Lockup, Season 7, Episode, I think this is 5. We start this episode off with Justin and Emily. Justin, a burglar, and Emily. So, Emily shows us this dissertation of a text message from Justin about how he only wants to be with her and he loves her and she's all smile. She, forgot all about being used. So she's sitting outside the content house because she's waiting on Justin to call and she doesn't want him to call while she's in the house. Ooh, this echoes so bad, y'all. I'm so sorry. She doesn't want him to call while she's in the house. And I don't know why, because she's not really trying to hide it from him. She's going to tell him. As soon as she gets that text message, she's feeling guilty about, being in Vegas. But anyway, he doesn't call, so she's like, I'm going to go on in. She goes on in, and she meets this guy, and I cannot pronounce that man's name for the life of me. But he says that, he does content. He made $100,000 last year. 85% of that was from gay men. Whatever. Emily says that Justin does not want her to do content. That's what we'll call it. She wants to be a content star. That's how I'm gonna say that. So he doesn't want her to do content. Like, he's accepting the fact that she's taking, these odd jobs, but choosing who you want to do it with is more like cheating in his eyes. And my thing is, condemning the work but accepting the money is insane. You cannot be a pimp without hoes. Somebody got to be the hoe. So she goes in, she meets the man, and he asks her what she's trying to do. She was like, well, I don't have anything like rough on my page yet. So they get to posing, and Emily's in her element. She fits right into this. She looked really comfortable doing this. So Justin finally calls once they, get into the posing and all of that of it. And he said it took so long because there was a lot going on. It took so long for him to call because there was a lot going on. AKA, he was on that phone with Liz. That's all that was. So she reluctantly breaks the news to him that she's at the content house and she's in Vegas shooting the content. He immediately starts guilt tripping her. So, F our relationship, F trust, F everything, right? Like I said, sir, you cannot be no pimp without the hoes. Alicia's still over here in Alabama. She at this hotel with Anna Marie, which is the baby doll. We ain't gonna forget Anna Marie. And she's getting ready for the day. She's like, today has to be better because yesterday was just, horrible. She still swear up and down Michael with a K. Let me stop. Michael with a K has never told her that he had life. And it's still been a week. She still hasn't spoken to him. But she's not giving up. She hasn't lost her faith. Today, she wants to go down to the courthouse and get some court records, find out what's really going on. Now, the internet has told you he got 999 years. Auntie Gloria has told you he got life. Now we're going to the courthouse. We get to the courthouse, she and she did make this comment. I know what his aunt said, but she's 82. That's wisdom, bitch. So Chrissy is a real ride or die because I would have been like, girl, take me home. Because everybody done told you. You saw it. You saw it in black and white. Auntie Gloria done told, just take me to the house. So on the way to, the dog's barking. On the way to the courthouse, she gets a call from Michael with a K. Michael says he hasn't been able to call her because his PIN number isn't working. And I know from watching 60 Days In that you have to you can't share your PIN number with nobody because they'll use all your minutes off your phone. But it's a number that you use on the phone. If you got money on your account, you can make calls. His PIN number wasn't working for a week because he just transferred to a new place. Makes sense, right? She's so happy to hear from him. And she tells him, I met Auntie Gloria. I went up to your place. And, she tells him about the caution tape. And he was like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I'm just like, girl, ask him about these 1,000 years. So, of course, she don't listen to me. She's like, I have something to tell you, and you may not like it. Now, all of a sudden, PIN number don't work no more. The PN number started working again, stopped working again, even though he on the phone. So she goes in, she asks one of the clerk for some info on Mikhail, whatever his last name is, and they give her a packet. And her and Chrissy go sit down. It looked like they're in the courtroom, but they go sit down and they look through these paperwork, and it said he got life. He was sentenced to life. Okay? So now the internet has told her, Auntie Gloria has told her, and the court documents have told her he's got life in prison. Now she want to talk to Eleanor Brooks, who was the prosecutor on his case. Girl, how many people got to tell you, how many different ways do you need to hear this man got life in prison? Bonita is packing what's left of Moo stuff because she done stole all his $115,000 worth of his stuff for $17,000. And she said he's going to be really mad because she only got a little bit of stuff. She got like 6 pairs of shoes and 8 outfits. She got about a week's worth of outfits for him laid out. She's so nervous when she started reading her horoscope. And it tells her that pretty much to watch out for a masculine figure in her life or something like that. So she said she sold his stuff out of the trunk of her car to people around the neighborhood. And like I said, she only got $17K for it. And did she say in a car? I feel like she said she sold his stuff in a car. I don't know. He gonna get out of jail and be walking around and seeing people in his stuff, people in the neighborhood in his stuff. Anyway, she's waiting on his video call, and she said her heart is palpitating because she know he's trying to send his mama over there to get that stuff. So while she waiting for him to call, he on the phone with Gigi or Goddess, and he's asking her how she feels. She's like, I'm mad as SHIT, and she's telling us, I'm an overthinker, and she tells him that as well. He like, what you thinking about? She was like, the baby mother. He was like, I just can't get on the phone with my baby mama and say, hey, I got another girl. He was like, I ain't trying to leave it on bad terms. I said, what? Because I thought you was already single when you pursued Goddess. But I guess I was wrong. So he said, Bonita gonna feel like, she got a little bit of power because she got his stuff. That's what he tells us in the professional. And he was like, he just need Gigi to be patient. In the confessional, Gigi tells us, she's an overthinker, but she gonna find out what's really going on. She said he's the love of her life, but she ain't never trusted no man 100%. I said, okay, girl, I'm glad you got a little bit of sense. He calls Bonita, and she's like, why we can't video chat? Because he already used his video chat with Gigi. So he asked Bonita what she got on, and she like, I just got on like this little one piece and some sandals. He was like, you got them feet out? And that shady-ass cameraman that scanned, he done zoomed into them little prehistoric sandals she had on. She was like, don't do that, because you don't be saying that when you be sucking them. Ew. He was like, all right, I can't wait to get in them guts. See, you playing too much. You ain't got to do all that to get your stuff back. You ain't had to add that. So she like, when you dating an inmate, you really do that time with them because she was like, I haven't had sex since 2022, 2 days before he went in. Okay, T-Man. She was like, if anybody want to open my legs, they're going to need some WD-40. So he said that he needs all his stuff when his mama comes. Not some of it, not a half of it, not a quarter of it. And she like, this stuff been here. Why are you questioning me now? What's going on? Move over to Monique. Monique can't believe Titus called her a dumb bitch for fainting. He doesn't believe he did or said anything wrong. She tells her sisters that she doesn't know if it's because he's been in jail so long, but he lacks emotional intelligence. Sylvia is like, it's been a year. You've been talking to this man for a year. He ain't even home yet. He already showing you that he can't be there for you. Like, what else do you need for you to realize that this is not the man for you? In the confessional, Monique was like, when she's being herself, she gets burned, and that's why she has her wall up. She tells her sisters, I'm sorry, her sisters tell her to take care of herself, make sure she eat, drink her water, and get a lot of rest. The sisters leave, and Monique says the hardest part about them leaving is not knowing when she's going to see them again because they still live back home in Chicago, and she has moved to Cleveland, Ohio for a man. She says that she and Titus have talked about everything, like having kids, and that's big for her because she never thought she would have kids by anybody else since she lost her daughter. So she said that was the most traumatic experience she ever had. Her daughter's name was Malia, and she said her and Malia's father used to argue day in, day out, and at 6 months pregnant, she believes that's what caused her to go into preterm labor. She went through that experience alone, and it was traumatizing seeing her daughter take her last breath. So she said it made her cautious about men. But Monique, how cautious are you if you still, fishing down at the jail? So then she says for Titus to win her back, she giving us a list. He need to take accountability. He need to apologize. He need to be clear about his intentions and what his release plan is. What is he going to do when he get out of jail? So while she lying, somebody knock at the door. And they move us to Aisha, who down here bothering these people at this DA office talking about she want to know what happened with Titus. Now, at this point, the internet done told you. Auntie Gloria done told you. The clerk of court done showed you. And you still want to talk to the DA. So DA was like, I've been doing this for 37 years. She was like, I don't remember the case, but I pulled it anyway, and I can try to answer your questions. But Eleanor had more questions than girl, because she's like, well, how did you meet him? she said, online dating site. She said, well, did he tell you why he was there? And she was like, yeah, he said he got in trouble starting when he was younger, but he's a different person now. Ella said, is that all he told you? Ella said, well, I've been a prosecutor for 37 years, and he has the worst driving record that I've ever seen. I said, a driving record? I know good and goddamn well y'all ain't locked this man up for no driving record. But she pulled his driving record, it was 4 pages long, and he never did nothing right in the car, ever. This man had everything from a broken tail light to not having no tags on the car, eluding the arrest. He was running from the police. He did everything that you could do in a car to violate the law. So she was like, well, what did he tell you about this charge that he in jail for now? I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So she said he participated in what is called a controlled buy. Well, she didn't say that, but that's what it's called, a controlled buy. They set you up with a confidential informant, not an informer like Ellen said, and they make a buy using marked bills by the police. And he got caught in that, and instead of him going ahead and laying down taking his charges, he took off. Because, if he got a car, he going to break the law. He took off, and they find him. Well, she said his car got hung up on the curb. I don't know what kind of getaway driver he is, but if you can't beat the curb, baby, you should just turn yourself in. So his car got hung up on the curb. The police was able to catch up with him. He had, in Alabama, I think in most states, they consider anything over 28 grams of cocaine trafficking. He had 2.5 times that. So they said it was $65,000 worth. That's what I don't be understanding about like drugs in the law. Like if it's illegal, you're not supposed to sell it. How y'all put a price on it? Anyway, ain't got nothing to do with me. Ellen said there is hope though, because he didn't get life without parole. He got life with parole, and he's eligible for parole in 2 years, not 6 months that he didn't promise her. But she said, yeah, he does have life, and there's no numeric end, and that's why you saw 999 years. Okay. Monique goes to the door, and it's Jamal, Titus's cousin. So he comes in, and he like, what's up with you? Then Titus calls his phone. He passes it to Monique, and of course she takes it, but he supposed to be blocked. This Titus confessional, he like, he feel like Monique missing that meeting with his family was very disrespectful, and he hoped she didn't fake fainting just to not interact with his family. So she takes the phone, and he's like, what up? I ain't heard from you. She was like, no, you need to apologize. I don't know why she think this apology means something. So he said, well, we both said some things. No, you need to apologize. He was like, well, if you need to hear an apology, I got real love for you. Do you accept my apology? She was like, I ain't hear that. What you say? You got love for me or you love me? He was like, I love you. She was like, that ain't what you said. And y'all, there is a difference from loving somebody. That man don't want Monique. He was like, I love you. Can we move forward? Do you accept my apology? And of course she folds like a lawn chair. And he like, you gonna come see me? She was like, yeah, I'm gonna go set up the visit right now. Girl. Monique don't have a phobia of prisons because that's where she shops. She does not have a fear of being around inmates because that's how she dates. Monique don't want to take her ass up there because she don't want that man to see her in person. She is very comfortable with her camera from the boobs up. That's all she wants him to see. She watched that last season when Derek was like, yeah, she a lot bigger than she portrayed herself to be. So Titus tells us that this ain't the first time Monique said she was planning to visit. It don't never come through. She don't never come. And if she don't show her ass up this time, then he gonna have to rethink this whole situation and how serious she is about their relationship. Monique's in the confessional and was like, I guess that means we're back together. Is this interview over yet? Because I need to go, what she say, FaceTime my man, or video call my man. So Bonita's still on this phone, gaslighting this man about his stuff. She like, yeah, so you questioning me? Your mother asking for your clothes? You definitely moving different. And yeah, you right, I'm a detective, I'm gonna find out what's going on. So in the confessional, Moo is telling us that Bonita's a firecracker and she'll pop off for the smallest little things. So why are you playing with her, sir? Leave her alone. Why are you lying? She said, your mother not getting your clothes because y'all moving funny. I was like, I see what you did there. So she's doing what men usually do. On days like this, today is Valentine's Day, by the way. So they will start a fight with you so they can go do what they want to do or who they want to do on Valentine's Day. But she reversed it. She's starting to fight because she ain't got his shit. And I don't know why she started to fight because she ain't going to have his shit when he get out either. Anyway, I guess she's going to say she burned it or she destroyed it because he was moving funny. I see what you did there, girl. But it's on TV, so you caught either way. So she's basically telling him that he ain't getting his stuff, but she's telling us in the confessional that she got to figure something out because he's going to be pissed. Y'all, please send Aisha on her way. Aisha about to get on my last nerve. So now she in the car with Chrissy, and she like, I got to have a personal conversation with Mikhail. She's still calling that man Mikhail. That man's name is Michael with a K. So she driving down the street, and she like, I just need to pull over. Then she get distracted by this cow. They end up at this cattle ranch thing. And Mike is what it says on the phone, so he know his name, Michael. The little automated system that comes on, he said his name was Mike. Anyway, so he calls, and she's like, so I talked to the DA. He like, well, what did they say? Nigga, you know what they said. You know exactly what they said. She said, they said you got life. He said, yeah, that's what I told you. But it was an illegal sentence. They violated my 14th Amendment, and I had to file a habeas corpus to say that, they holding me against my will. Who signed up to go to jail? Everybody in there being held against their will. If you open them doors, everybody leaving. He said he never signed for, a life sentence. So she like, why he keep saying that he's being held against his will? Ain't everybody in jail being held against their will? So he like, what had happened was the lawyer had screwed me real bad. So he was like, I had this lawyer and he had me sign this plea agreement for 5 years. And the judge gave me 5 years. But then I got called back to prison and the judge gave me life without having legal representation because the lawyer that I had didn't even stand up to say nothing. And I'm like, baby, if he was in the courtroom with you, you had legal representation. Whether he spoke or not, you had him there. That's what you paid for. You probably should have got a court appointed. At least they do talk. They might not know what they're talking about. But they're going to stand up and say something. So Christy was like, why was Auntie Gloria the first person to tell her that you got life? Well, she wasn't. The internet told her. And he was like, maybe she didn't understand what I was telling her. I don't know. So he tells Aisha, the DA ain't going to tell you how to find the mistakes. So Aisha was like, well, in the confessional, the relationship might be over. There should be over. You too old for this. 54, you too old for this. Emily is still in this bathroom where she's supposed to be making money, explaining to Justin that she has to do this content because she got to take care of him for 18 more months. And the fact that alone that he can't understand that is killing me. I feel like Justin is fake upset. He just wants to seem upset so, she'll keep sending him the money to pacify him. I don't think he gives a damn. He talking to Liz. Hell, and probably Brittany too, with her dumb ass. He said content is different because it's more like cheating in the way that she has to pick who she does it with. Now, when she at the brothel and she get a regular old Joe Schmo off the street, she don't know who that is. It's transactional. But content, you don't get paid right away. That's the problem. You don't get paid right away. That's his problem. You don't get paid right away. He don't get paid right. It's the pimp hoe situation I was talking about. So, they get into this back and forth, and she like, listen, I have to do it. And since you want to talk about cheating, why Liz still send me messages talking about you using me and y'all planning on being together? He like, hell, I don't know. So he says, what are you going to do? And she was like, well, what are you going to do about my content? And he was like, well, you're not giving me no choice. She said, I'm giving you a choice. Either you can deal with it or you can deal with it. He basically said, talking to Liz was just entertainment. What I'm doing is just entertainment. And she was like, if you can entertain a dumb bitch, then I can make content. And the Flamingo floaty was the innocent bystander in this whole situation and got kicked into the pool. Luckily, they can swim. That is it. That is all. I can't wait to get to the next episode. I want to see if Monique gonna take her ass down to this prison to see Titus in person. Just let the man see what he get. You know what I mean? It's better to do it while he in prison. Either way, he gonna get to see you. You're not gonna lose no more weight before he come home. I don't see the 100 pounds that you lost already. Just go ahead and let the man see what he get. Because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get you over there with his family, so he like, yo, is she this big or that big? He's trying to get you over there in person so he can see. And you don't know, he might like him big. He might not be big enough for that man. Let the man see what he is. All right, y'all. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.